So to introduce you to those running for mayor, we have Jonathan Barfield Jr., Billy Craig, and Mayor Bill Saffo. Jonathan Barfield Jr. previously served 16 years on the New Hanover County Board of Commissioners from December 2008 till December 2024. That included also several stints as chair and vice chair of the board. Billy Craig is a former detective with the Wilmington Police Department and worked with the department from 1995 until retiring in 2023. He's currently a private investigator, adjunct professor at CFCC. Bill Saffo has served as Wilmington's mayor since first being appointed in 2006 and reelected since then. As mayor, he sits on boards such as the Regional Film Commission and WBD. So to start us off, and again, we'll be rotating who takes the first question and who wraps it up. And starting with Jonathan, can you share a 1-minute intro and to why you're running?
Good morning, Wilmington. How you feeling this morning? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right, got to line this place up a little bit. My name is Jonathan Barfield Jr. For 16 years, I had the privilege of serving as one year.
Microphone isn't working, John.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me try this again. Okay. 1, 2. Let me try this again. Good morning, Wilmington. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right. My name is Jonathan Barfield Jr. You know, for 16 years, I had the privilege of serving as one of your 5 county commissioners. Following my father, Jonathan Barfield Sr.'s footprints and serving as a commissioner from 1980 to 1992. My wife, Laura, and I, we've been married for almost 37 years. We've got 4 beautiful daughters and 2 amazing grandsons around the age of 2. You know, having the ability to serve at the most powerful governing body at the local level has more than prepared me to serve at the city level. You know, chairing the county commission, recognizing the fact that we served at a greater capacity, providing your law enforcement here in terms of our jail. Anyone been arrested here before? If you got arrested, you went to the county jail, not the city jail. You went to the county Department of Social Services. You went to the county parks and libraries. You went to the county 911 center when you called 911. The county provided such a great array of services. I've been a part of those things for 16 years, but I recognize that my work is not done.
Okay,
this book I'd like to read, excuse me?
That would be a minute,
Oh,
Jonathan.
man.
We'll have plenty of opportunity the rest of the segment too. Billy?
I'm not going to stand up. I got some knee problems. Billy Craig, retired from Wilmington PD. I spent 30 years of my career working for the city. The last 15, I worked working counterterrorism for the FBI, working international domestic terrorism, also some foreign counterintelligence, kidnappings, and public corruption matters. I'm running for mayor because I want to make a change here. I'm interested in really supporting law enforcement. I can talk to you all day about that. I'm worried about our taxes going up and not getting the services that we deserve. And I'm really worried about our infrastructure. So that's the short version. Married, 2 kids, wife 21 years, and here I am.
Thank you. And Bill?
My name is Bill Saffo, and I have been your mayor for the last 18 years, and I thank you for the honor to give me that. Before I get started very quickly, I do want to say something. The last couple of weeks and the last couple of days, what we have seen that happened in this country is unfathomable. And the cornerstone of our democracy is free speech and debate, and to be able to debate the ideas that affect our communities, our state, and our country. All 3 of us here are running for mayor of the city of Wilmington. We all have different ideas and different thoughts about how to move this community forward. But the most important thing is in this country that we should be able to debate those ideas in freedom, to be safe when we do it, and to do it in a way that even though we may disagree with how we move this community forward, we agree that we are all Americans, and the First Amendment is the greatest amendment to protect our freedoms and our rights. So thank you for that.
That's going to be your...
I've been your mayor, and I've done a lot of great things. We'll talk about it later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are going to start with Billy on this first issues question. What do you think the city should or should not be focusing on when it comes to workforce and affordable housing?
Well, again, infrastructure. You can't support a workforce if you can't bring jobs here. Then the jobs that you bring here, I mean, there's nowhere to build a factory or anything like that would cause you to build workforce housing. Affordable housing, I'm still trying to find a definition of it. No one can tell me what a definition of affordable housing is. We do have a problem. We have a problem with trying to, keep our own employees within the city. Most of your city employees live outside the city. They live in Pender and Brunswick counties and commute in.
Bill?
That's it.
Bill? Oh, Bill, your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the city has been in the affordable housing business. It's been in the affordable housing business in the mid-1990s. To date, in the last 5 years, the city of Wilmington has invested over $23 million into affordable housing. That has translated into a significant amount of units that have been built by private tax credit developers, the private sector, the Wilmington Housing Authority, nonprofits that are out there that are working on this issue every single day. The city of Wilmington also sets aside 1 cent out of its property tax rate to go toward affordable housing. We think it's a very important economic initiative for our community because when companies look to relocate here or locate here, they look to see what our cost of living is. So having affordable housing is extremely important, making certain that we also have a cross-section of different properties that we can use, 30% AMI, 60% AMI, 80% AMI, making sure that our civil servants, our teachers, police, firemen have adequate housing that's available. But it's obviously Wilmington being a very small geographic area, it's very difficult to put all of that affordable housing in one particular area. But we're doing our part.
Thank you. Jonathan?
I've been in the housing affordability space since the early 2000s. I chaired the Affordable Housing Coalition, which now has another name. I was proud when the county a couple of years ago committed $15 million over 5 years to investing in housing affordability, $3 million a year investing in developers that's building that type of workforce housing. The first project that we had delivered was Estrella Landings, apartments off of Gordon Road. They're going anywhere from 30 to 60 to 80% of the area median income. I know one person that has a brand new one-bedroom apartment, brand new apartment at $335 a month. That does not exist anywhere unless you partner with individuals. It's going to take more financial investment with the city, investing not just federal dollars, but also local dollars with our developers to make sure that housing affordability is a reality. My number one concern is that those young people that are graduating from UNCW and Cape Community College can't afford to live in the community that they went to school in, can't afford to work and live in the community that they work in. That's going to be our challenge from here to eternity, but I'm committed to investing real dollars to solve that problem, as we did with the county.
Okay. Next question, what are your thoughts on local funding options for replacing the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge? And Bill, you'll start off on this one.
You say Bill or Billy?
Mayor Saffo.
Okay.
Will you please repeat the question?
Sure, of course. What are your thoughts on local funding options for replacing the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge?
Well, obviously, it's a state piece of infrastructure. It's the biggest piece. When it's done, it would be the biggest infrastructure probably development in the state's history. Yes, we should look at local options to look at how we fund that. Right now, I think the big issue that everybody's talking about is tolls. Right now, the bridge cost is $1.2 billion. By the time we get to it, I'm sure it'll be probably $1.5 billion to $2 billion before that bridge is built. But we have to look at every option available to us as to how we pay for it. I do have personal concerns about how that would impact the city of Wilmington. Obviously, a toll would redirect some of that traffic up 3rd Street. That would go right through the heart of the city to the Isabel Holmes Bridge, which would be free to cross. There's concerns about what the toll would be. We don't have that because it's proprietary information, but we do know that it is going to have to be built because of the amount of growth that's happening in Brunswick County, being one of the fastest growing counties in the state of North Carolina.
Okay, thank you. And if you could pass the mic down to Jonathan.
For me, I chaired the MPO for 2 years. I served on it for 16 years. The Memorial Bridge is a state facility. It's owned by the state. It's their responsibility to maintain their facilities, not the local people here in our community. and I'm totally against tolling that road. Can you imagine tolling the main road that's been coming into your community for years? Now all of a sudden you got a minimum of a $2 toll. Think about those firefighters and police officers and those teachers that are living in Brunswick County but working here in Wilmington. Adding that to their total monthly bill is going to be a tremendous challenge. You know, I have fought against tolling that particular facility. The biggest impact or negative impact is going to be on this side of the bridge. If they move that bridge over to build a new bridge, it's going to be impacting downtown homes, residents. You got the Davis Funeral Home right there at 5th and Dawson Street. You've got homes on 4th Street, on 3rd Street, apartments there. You've got some storage facility there. All will be impacted in a negative way. We need to send a strong message to those in Raleigh to take care of your stuff. Don't put it on the backs of our local residents here in Wilmington.
And Billy Craig.
So a bridge is needed. You know, the state ports were probably actually missing out on some shipping industry that will be on the north, that could be on the north side, or actually is on the north side of the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. Cape Fear Memorial Bridge at the highest point is 135 feet. There have actually been shipping companies who have pulled their resources from the Port of Wilmington to go elsewhere because of that bridge. At one point, they're talking about the battleship getting moved. They're going to have to cut 60 feet off the battleship to get it out. You know, I do believe the state and the feds really need to step it up. We need to really put pressure on them to help support this. I am not in favor of tolls, and I'm not in favor of some monolithic bridge. I mean, you know, something with character. And like somebody mentioned up here before, there's it in Charleston. You know, it needs, if we have to have it, it better be something with character that everybody can enjoy and use.
We have a question from the audience. Major corridors in the city, such as Oleander Drive and Market Street, continue to be developed and redeveloped in disconnected, haphazard ways. What plans do you have for improving the situation and very few new trees, which I believe is, not exactly sure the trees part of the question, but what plans do you have for improving the situation of the development? And I believe the audience member is asking also about your thoughts on tree preservation. I'm guessing, apologies if that's not exactly it, but it's a good question. We're going to start with Jonathan.
You know, a few years ago, the county put together a tree ordinance to protect our tree canopy. You know, growth and development has been rampant in our community for years. You know, having grown up in Wilmington, I have seen this place grow and change by leaps and bounds. And for the most part, for me, it's been great. At the same time, as many folks, here's my question. How many of you folks that are in here today are not from here? You're the problem. You are the problem. When I grew up here, we didn't have a traffic problem, we didn't have a growth problem until y'all came here. And now the folks that have come here want to stop that growth and development. But it's happening because you all came here, and you brought your friends and families here with you as well. Now it's time to look at everything from a very strategic standpoint to make sure that there's roadways that can handle the traffic that's coming here, and recognizing that we are a regional city. We are the economic hub of southeastern North Carolina. Folks are coming here from 7 counties to do business. It's not just folks that live in Wilmington that are clogging our roads. It's folks that are coming here because we have a great place in terms of our medical facilities here, our university, our shopping, and the like.
Thank you, Jonathan. Billy Craig.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but we're at the end of the line. I-40 dumps into Wilmington, and unless you can build a bridge to Bermuda, there's not many more places you can put roads. You can try to expand, but then you got to look at, you know, you're probably going to end up hitting some eminent domain ideas. You know, our roads, I'm like Jonathan and Bill too. I'm born and raised here. I remember the 17th Street extension, we used to take our trucks, drive back there, and you could enjoy it. You know, that's something a 15, 16, 17-year-old could have done. You know, we're not prepared for it. The city leaders throughout the years have failed to look forward about all this extra building, this high density, and now we're in the situation that we're in now. So, you know, we need to slow down what we're doing. We need to get the infrastructure back up and to par before we do anything else.
Thank you. Bill?
Hello? I'm just going to be going back and forth here. Very quickly, you know, the city of Wilmington has only grown at 2% per year. The surrounding area has exploded in growth. We had an AI PACER report that tells us about 100,000 people come into this community every single day that are not residents of this community for services, for jobs, for school, for a lot of different things. The major roadways in our community, Market Street, Oleander Drive, South College Road, parts of Independence Boulevard, Shipyard Boulevard, all of your major roadways are owned by the state of North Carolina. And one of the things that we have seen over the years is the amount of time it is taking to put a lot of these road projects, expansions of road capacity, interchanges in place. It's taking us years. The state is going to have to take a look at another way to fund road capacity because we are the third fastest growing state in the country, and one of the fastest growing parts of that state is this community right here, this three-county area right here. So we have to do more and get these roads done faster than we have been doing in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can hang on to the mic for the next question. Billy is going to start this one off. Do you think any changes are needed when it comes to public safety downtown? Billy Craig. I'm just
Okay.
going to start saying Billy Craig, Bill Saffo.
Yeah, Billy, anyway.
Billy.
All right, sorry. Maybe we should have said that, anyway. Yeah. I could talk to you about public safety all day long. I could talk to you about the numbers at the Wilmington Police Department. 280 is your minimum staffing. As of sits right now, it's 205 officers. You're 75 short. Your taxes have gone up 30% over the past 10 years. What are you getting for your money? I worked at the Wilmington Police Department for 30 years. I know the ins and outs. I know what has happened. I know what is happening. And when the new chief gets here, I want to sit down with him. I want him to help him hit the ground running. There's a lot of hurdles going on. And we're at 205 right now. Some things are being done to bring people in with incentives, like $25,000 incentives for lateral transfers. That's great. But before that happens, we're probably going to end up losing probably about another 10 people to retirement or leaving. So you're probably going to be down to about 190 here very soon.
Bill Saffo.
Well, I will say that we do have a downtown task force, especially at night, because downtown is a different downtown after 11 o'clock. For those of you who go downtown late at night, sometimes it gets a little bit rowdy. We have a lot of people downtown, a lot of young people downtown. They have a lot of good times, and it's a different downtown. We have a specific task force that probably makes up almost sometimes in the evening hours, you can get up to almost 30 officers that are bring from all over the city to get down there to deal with some of the issues that we contend with in the late evening hours. In addition to that, we also have a great partnership with the Sheriff's Department that is also part of that task force. I think overall downtown is a pretty safe area. If you look at the statistics, it's a pretty good safe area. I think we get a lot of the late night crowds. It's all of a sudden people think, oh, it's violent, it's terrible. And there are incidents that do happen, but I can tell you that we are supporting the downtown task force and we will continue to do so. Thank you.
Jonathan Barfield.
For me, public safety should be addressed in every community. Several years ago, there was a shooting at McCray Park, and people were outraged. They wanted to remove the basketball courts there. But a week prior to that, there were 7 people shot at 7th and Kidder. 3 people died, and no one said a word. Public safety should be safe in every community, whether you're in Landfall or downtown, whether you're in Creekwood or Monkey Junction. Public safety should be concerned for law enforcement everywhere, not just in one part of our community. We need a safe Wilmington, period. Not just downtown, not just uptown, not just midtown, but we need a safe Wilmington, period. I'm a strong supporter of law enforcement. My sheriff will tell you that I supported him every step of the way. When he came to the county looking for resources, I was first in line to make sure he got what he needed because I believe that we have a strong law enforcement community supported by the local government. They're going to do a great job for our community and everyone feels safe. But again, it should be not just downtown Wilmington, but every part of Wilmington should be safe.
Thank you. If you pass the mic down. The next question is, what else should Wilmington be doing in the economic development arena? Billy Saffo, if you could start.
Well, I think we're doing a tremendous job. I mean, when you're looking at what we just did with the Amazon deal, with no incentives, over 2,000 jobs, over $1 billion investment, over 3 million square feet, that's significant. What we've been able to do with Encino, what we've been able to do with Live Oak Bank, local companies that were able to expand here in our community. We should be proud of the things that we have done. Mega Corporation with another expansion, Banneker, another great company here in our community. We should continue to do what we are doing. We have also been recognized as one of the communities in the country, one of the top places in the country for entrepreneurship, for small businesses to be open. That is a testament to all of us working together across party lines, across organizations, to do what we can to bring more good-paying jobs to our community. And it's a testament to all of us working together. And I'm very proud of the amount of jobs that we have created in this community over the last decade. I think it's unbelievable what we've been able to do. Thank you.
If you could pass it down to Jonathan Barfield. I know it's tedious, and I want to thank all the candidates for their patience with the audio issues, but I also do want to continue to make it fair about who gets the most time to think about the question. So, Jonathan Barfield.
You know, we have three great partners: Wilmington Business Development, Wilmington Downtown Inc., and Wilmington Chamber of Commerce. And the county, when I served as the commissioner, partnered with all three of those, as did the city, to bring great companies to our community. I was there for the initial groundbreaking for Live Oak Bank. Look at what they've done in our community. Their first building they built, now they got, I think, 5 or 6 buildings on their campus there. I was there for the second building of Castle Branch, bringing an additional 400 jobs to our community. When Interroll came back to our community, investing in those companies as well. I think it's going to take strong strategic partnerships in terms of investing tax incentives to bring those companies to our community, but also empowering our local businesses that are already here, making sure that they feel the love as well. You know, back when we had some of those pandemic dollars, the county doled out quite a bit of those dollars to our small businesses that were struggling during that time period. So again, investing in local businesses that are already here, but also finding ways to use our partners and leverage their abilities to attract the right business here to our community so we can continue to grow and prosper as we have been doing for many, many years.
Billy Craig.
Thanks. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for economic growth. I'm all for, you know, a business wanting to do stuff. Problem is some of these large businesses are coming in here. We hear about the mom and pop businesses. They're really struggling. I've had plenty of conversations with some store owners here recently. I mean, and they're feeling the pinch. They're having to really adjust their prices, and it's coming down to you. You know, the jobs that have come here, I believe, let's see, your food service has come down. You've got more financial institutions, education, and medical moving to the area. But a lot of times, that moving to the area, out of 100 jobs, 75 people come from out of town, and 25 get originated from here. So we need to figure out how to support the people here, even when those companies come in, how they're going to dump into the community and keep the community here thriving.
Okay, and Jonathan Barfield, you have first crack at this audience question. With a significant growth and high-capacity developments planned for downtown, particularly in the northern riverfront and Marina District areas, how do you plan to address the lack of parking and ensure accessibility for both residents and visitors?
You know, when I parked in the parking deck today, I was amazed. Almost every space is dedicated to a hotel. So for folks like us that come downtown, where do we park? It's become a tremendous challenge here as more and more development is taking place. I think that when you build these apartment complexes, they've got to have their own internal parking. And I think we're seeing those kind of things happen now. I was just in downtown Miami this past week. Matter of fact, I got back about midnight last night, and all I saw there were high rises everywhere. That's what I don't want to see in Wilmington. But at the same time, making sure that those who have businesses downtown have adequate parking for their employees and for their customers as well. You know, when you go to the mall, when you go to Mayfair, you don't have to pay to park. We need to find a way to balance that so that folks, when they're coming downtown to shop downtown, and those business owners that have businesses here can feel the love from the city in terms of making sure that their folks aren't being over-penalized with parking fees, but also finding ways to build additional parking decks downtown to accommodate the growth. I'm thankful that Cape Community College sometimes opens up their parking deck for events as well, but we need more of those facilities downtown to accommodate the growth that's taking place.
Okay. Billy Craig.
I'm sorry, you repeat the question again. I was enthralled.
Basically, with the significant growth and high-capacity developments planned for downtown in the northern riverfront Marina District, how do you plan to address lack of parking and ensure accessibility for both residents and visitors?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of land left downtown, and a lot of that's tied up. You know, they do allow some parking. Of course, you got to pay for it. You know, some of the apartments that have been built downtown already. I mean, there's a parking deck that was built for at the Pier 1 area. You know, partnering with Cape Fear would be wonderful. And the only solution you have would be to do another parking deck. But do you really want another parking deck downtown? And again, there's been high-density construction in areas. You have a lot of people moving here, and you don't have anywhere for them to go. You don't have anywhere for them to park. You don't have any way for them to get downtown. You need transportation. Like back in the day, you used to have the loop at UNCW. It was a van that ran around, picked up people, took them wherever they wanted to go. You don't even have that.
Okay, thank you. Bill Saffo?
Oh,
Who
sorry,
needs the microphone?
forgot.
Well, the economic revitalization of downtown Wilmington started with parking. 2nd Street deck, the Market Street deck. The reason that the city purchased this building behind us, the old PPD building, because it had an 1,100 car parking deck, and we knew we were going to have to build a parking deck on this end of town. That deck, if we had to build it today, would probably cost us between $40 to $50 million. We paid $68 million for that building. It took care of our city needs, and it gave us the opportunity to have parking on the north end of town. Every one of these developments down here that has anything to do, Pier 33, all of these developments down here with apartments have built their own internal parking. And the only parking that we have allowed for a hotel to use that we've negotiated with was the Embassy Suites, was going to be the hotel for the convention center. 200 spaces out of the 589. I think we have a lot of parking downtown. We have over 3,500 parking spaces with parking on decks too. So we have adequately put enough parking in place to ensure the economic vitality of downtown Wilmington. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Billy Craig, you're going to start the next question. I'm going to ask a question about the endowment and add the caveat that it is the county commissioners that appoint members to that board and not city council and city mayor. But because it's such a large issue and it does affect funding within the city of Wilmington residents as well, I also wanted to include it here. So my question to you is, what role do you think the New Hanover Community Endowment should play going forward? Billy?
I think the city leaders need to really be leading on the county about the endowment. I don't know if any of you looked at it. If you go to the endowment's website and watch the video across the top, it looks like a travel brochure for the beaches. It doesn't look like anything what the endowment is supposed to be for. We really need to lean into that. There's money there. There's money that should be getting spent on people that want to start new businesses. There should be an opportunity for folks to, maybe team up with Live Oak Bank and say, hey, here, let's give you a little bit extra to help these folks get started. The money's there. I think it's being misused. I think that there needs to be an audit with everything that comes in and out. It's there. I mean, the city lies inside the county. Why is not the city able to dive into it and use it?
Bill Saffo?
Well, I'm a firm optimist, and I know a lot of the people that serve on the endowment board, and I do believe that the endowment is a great gift to this community. I know a lot of people are frustrated because of some of the things, the early beginnings of this endowment, but I think long-term this endowment is going to be going to have a tremendous impact on this community. And I think the city, the county, the endowment, the nonprofits are all going to benefit from that. And if we're willing to make investments in public infrastructure and into the public realm, I do believe that the endowment will be at the table. If we have skin in the game, I think that they will help us finish a lot of these projects that we've been talking about for a number of years. And I think it's a great thing for our community. Just like any kind of big organization that's kind of getting off the ground, it's going to have its struggles in the beginning. But I can assure you that this endowment is a tremendous asset and gift to this community and to this region. Thank you.
And Jonathan Barfield?
The potential is great. Having been one of those that voted to sell the hospital to establish endowment, I'm proud of that vote that I took. What I'm disappointed about is the fact that we have not empowered more in our community through the funds from the endowment. The vision that I had was that all the local nonprofits in our community would see a piece of those dollars coming into it, help them grow their capacity. But instead, we've not done that to the fullest of what I think it could be. But imagine this, $60, $70 million a year coming in. No one has ever seen that kind of money on a regular basis being able to be put into a community. So we've got to think differently. We've got to think boldly. We've got to think in ways that we never thought before. Maybe going to other cities that have endowments just like this and see how they're thinking to empower your community to do great things. These dollars are transformational if they're deployed in the right way, making sure that every nonprofit in our community has the ability to thrive and grow and extend what local governments can't do by providing resources to every citizen in our community.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have time for 2 more questions, and Bill Saffo is going to start off this next one. This is an audience question. How do you balance the desire to keep tax rates low at every level of government with the need to provide expected services?
Great question. And I use this analogy. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And everybody wants all these services. Everybody wants parks. Everybody wants green space. Everybody wants all the things in the world. But at the end of the day, we have to balance a budget. We have to have a certain amount of money set aside. We have to have a AAA bond rating. We're a fiscally very well-run city, and we have a lot of needs here. Every time we have to make a cut, we have to make a cut into our budget also. So it is important that we balance that. That's why the 7 council members that you elect diligently work over a year to formulate a budget that we think is fair, that has impact in the community, that addresses the concerns of your community. The mayor doesn't do that by himself, neither does any council member. We all work together, formulating a plan of action, working with our city manager and staff, and assuring that the policies that we create are implemented by the manager and the staff based on the taxes that we collect, and we think we have done a great job. Thank you.
Jonathan Barfield.
You know, for 16 years as the county commissioner, I really never heard folks complain about the tax rate. What I dare hear people say is they want a great quality of place, a great quality of living. They want to have great parks and museums. They want their libraries to be well. They want their schools to be well funded. They want all the things that make a community thrive and grow. We are the economic leader of southeastern North Carolina, and we should indeed act like it, recognizing that folks are looking to our community for leadership. And as we continue to grow Wilmington, we need to make sure we're investing in the right places, which means that sometimes you need to raise your tax rate, your millage rate by a little bit to accommodate all the things that the residents indeed desire and want. Because what I do hear from individuals is they want certain things. They want a livable community. They want law enforcement that's at the peak. They want to have a thriving arts community and a thriving entertainment scene, and those things cost resources. And to me, it's important that we invest in those things as well, but also making sure we're investing in public safety and our first responders to make sure that they feel comfortable, as well as investing in public education in our community college.
Thank you. And Billy Craig.
I don't know why I need that. There you go. So, sorry. Yeah, Mr. Barfield and Mr. Saffo both mentioned something about public safety and police officers, and and I'm gonna say this: what has occurred over the past few years at that police department, a racial wedge was driven in that department, and it caused a lot of good people to leave. And you talk about taxes, you talk about raising taxes. You know, the whole reason why they're able to do these incentives now to bring people in, they're paying, they want to pay, and I have no issue with this, but $25,000 for somebody to lateral transfer, and they're going to pay that money every 2 years. And they're able to use that money because your department is so short. So you talk about, hey, we had to raise taxes here and there. Well, what services are you actually getting? Because every time I turn around, I see a boil water advisory, I see them tearing up the roads, I see them trying to fix something.
Okay, thank you. And starting us off will be Jonathan Barfield for this question, which is, what do you think differentiates you the most from your opponents? You could pass the mic down.
For 16 years, I represented the citizens of Wilmington on the County Commission. Again, serving in a much more comprehensive way, providing a greater level of services. As you recognize, the counties provide a great more deal of services than cities do. You know, serving in that capacity, we've convened more meetings with the city of Wilmington, whether it be on housing affordability, our chronic homeless problem in our community, workforce development, economic development, looking at the opioid epidemic, looking at a whole host of issues. I've been at the table with the city of Wilmington all throughout those 16 years solving problems. And now it's time to bring those resources and those things and skills that I've attained to the table to help our community grow. You know, I've had 3 gubernatorial appointments. I was appointed by Governor Perdue to serve on the Sheriff's Education Training Standards Commission, Governor Cooper to serve on the Cape Fear Community College Board of Trustees, and now most recently Governor Stein to serve on the Real Estate Commission. You know, bridging those relationships between state government and county government to the city, you know, I have those relationships. I have those means to make sure that we are leveraging relationships to provide the best resources to our community. That's what makes Jonathan Barfield the best candidate for mayor of the city of Wilmington.
Thank you. Billy Craig?
Go ahead and hand it to him.
Oh, Billy Craig.
Yeah,
You're next
but
in
I'm
line, Billy
letting you
Craig.
hold the mic.
Thank you.
It's all right. So why am I the best? You know, like everybody up here, I'm born and raised here. And I worked for this city for 30 years. And there's been times I've stayed awake for 42 hours working a homicide. And Mr. Barfield mentioned about the 7 people that were shot, or the 7 people shot, the 3 that died. That was one of the first mass shootings that Wilmington ever saw. And it's not a what if, it's a what when things happen. And I think that's evident of what we've been seeing here lately. I work my tail off for the citizens of Wilmington. And I'll tell you right now, a comment, and I'm not picking on you, Mr. Barfield, but a comment Mr. Barfield made struck a chord with me. He talks about those 7 people that were shot and how people didn't care. I can tell you right now, every officer I work with cared that night. They try to provide the best life-saving opportunities that they could. And I'm here to work for you, not anybody else.
Okay, thank you. Bill Saffo?
Could you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
What do you think differentiates you the most from your opponents?
I've got hair.
Well, hold on. Hey,
And that's it.
we can take care of that.
Just check.
We can take care of that.
Just check.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on, give him
I've
the
been doing
15
this,
seconds.
look, folks, I've been doing this for 18 years, and I hope I have demonstrated to you as your elected mayor that I have delivered on the promises that I have said. I said when I first ran that I wanted to revitalize downtown Wilmington, and we have. I wanted to build this convention center, and we did it when we had withering opposition to it. I wanted to make sure that the public realm was the best realm, and I believe that we've been able to do that with the Live Oak Bank Pavilion when we lost out on baseball. I wanted to make sure that we finished the Riverwalk, and we did. I wanted to make sure that we had a trail system when people thought we were crazy to do it. Now it's all over this community with almost 30 miles of it today, and people are using it more and more. I have delivered on the promises that I have said, and I hope that you recognize that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a round of applause for our candidates? I want to thank all of you and all the city council candidates for an informative and respectful forum. I hope that was helpful for you as you consider who you're voting for in November. Election day is November 4th, but early voting starts October 16th. You can see sample ballots on the County Board of Elections site, and if you pick up the October issue of the Business Journal, you'll see more Q&As with these candidates and learn even more before you make your decision. Don't forget that the parking passes from Highland Roofing cards are on your table to take with you to get out, and we will see you back here October 1st for our Spark ILM event. Thank you very much.